Alright gang, it's September 29, 2024, Sunday. I thought this would have taken a lot longer, but if you're following my page, you understand I'm having some huge problems with this transmission, and I'm not going to badmouth anybody. I had a shop build this transmission for me, and instead of securing the studs in the bottom properly, they were JB welded. You know, since I don't build transmissions every day, when those studs came loose, I just stuffed them back in with JB weld. And let's just take a look here. This is a 36 transmission. This is my custom drag specialties because the thing didn't it would not function properly. So let's just look on the bottom of this thing. This is the one-handed camera thing. Okay, see the pink there? Those guys were glued in place, but they would come out. So I JB welded it back in, thinking, well, maybe it does work, but I don't know. It came out to this transmission a couple times and completely leaked every last drop of oil out. And then you can see those are the stock ones. They haven't been monkeyed with. And that's a 9/16 nut. And this is your classic 1936 4-bolt transmission. That is the 5th bracket. And there's your numbers on it. So anyway, that is my problem. I believe this thing would be just leaking like a sieve. Whatever sieve is, but it leaked like you would not believe. So I'm just going to have somebody that knows what they're doing look at it and tell me what they think. And see if we can solve this issue, okay? Like this should be straight, but for this to even work, to even push this out, this push rod, it had to be bent because it was hitting that tower early. So here's the original 36 clutch release lever. You can see it's got a little bit of a bend in it from the factory, believe it or not. So, and it's got the 2 adjustments on the end. The knockoffs and later bikes do not. So there's the big hockey puck thing. That's everybody wants that. Anyway, I think this is the only solution. I'm just gonna have to send somebody and have them open it up and tell me what's wrong with it, why it doesn't really function properly. And I just want to go over a couple things. So what I do, I took off the rear fender first. Actually took off the exhaust first, then I took off the rear fender, then I took off the rear wheel, and that gave me access to remove the oil bag, which is over here. And there's the rear fender. So what I did was, you can see there's the Woodruff key right there. In order to get this bucket off, this basket, I just put my screwdriver in through here, and I just hit it a couple times with the trusty snap-on mallet, and that let me take this off without deforming it. So there's that there's that transmission plate. I think that's a later plate. I don't think that's a 36 plate, but it functions. Oh, okay, so that nut, so I gave myself a little note there, clockwise position tightens it, okay? This nut here that secures this guy onto the transmission, you tighten it in the counterclockwise position. All right, so very important. You want to tighten that nut clockwise. You want to tighten this nut counterclockwise, so they are opposite. Very important. And what I did is I just took it off with my impact driver. And let's see, where is my big... There it is. This is what takes it off, 1 1/8 inches. Fits right on there. Comes right off. 1 1/8 inches. Yeah, so... You know, truthfully, I'm just surprised it came off as quickly as it did. I was expecting to spend the entire day doing this, but it's only been a couple hours, so... Whatever. I need somebody that really knows these transmissions to look at this thing and why it's fucked up. Yeah, it's a real mystery. You could barely get this thing to push that little rod out. But let me show you the orientation. Now I got some wasps trying to beat me up today. Now this is another thing. I wonder if this is even correct. This is the orientation I had this in. So I would think metal on disc, metal on disc, disc on metal, disc, and metal again, and disc. And that disc fitting right up against that. So I may have that wrong. And then that guy there, of course, gets those 3 little keepers. I'm not using my magnetic bowl today, which I should have, but I'm very, very careful. All these little pieces, these are just my little things that work for me. I just use these old peanut butter jars to put my parts in, my loose small stuff. Because if you've worked on cars and motorcycles, and I'm not the expert, you know that this stuff hits the ground, ricochets, and will go a football field away. So that's the easy way to do it. Put it all in a plastic jar, not a glass jar. Glass jars break. And then when you come back, do your job, you can see what went where. And yeah. So, and then just total patience. Just total patience. I picked a day that's cool. It's going to be 90, 100 today. So at least it'll be cool. Weather. There's nothing worse than working on a car or motorcycle in 100-degree heat. It's no fun. But there it is. Got the engine's 100%. Yeah. So the engine's 100%. The transmission is not, but we're getting there. It's a real bummer. It's a real bummer. You know, when you look at it now, and those studs on the bottom, I mean, they actually look okay. But, you know, when they're in position, they're just bleeding oil. And I'm not talking like a ton. It's just overnight, they just totally bleed the oil out. Like I said, I painted those with some pink nail polish from the dollar store, just so I can readily see what I'm what are my problem studs. Is use some sort of bright color that you can see immediately. But yeah, so there it is. We're gonna have somebody else do it, spend the money, whatever. Stay as broke as you can. Fuck, what a pain in the ass this has been. What do you do? So anyway, gang, there it is. 36 knucklehead transmission. Yeah, maybe we can do this with a straight one of these. This was only 45 bucks, so that's okay. You can sacrifice a part. I honestly thought that would do it, but I have no answer as to why this does not work properly. So there is the bike. It's getting there. This is the last big hurdle, and after that's the brakes again, and headlight, horn, taillight, electrical. Yeah, the fun never ends. I was, like I said, really surprised I got this out as quickly as I did. But those little hints, I don't like to say tricks, because that's what prostitutes do, right? Tips, yeah. But those are my tips. Make sure you get that orientation correct for the two bolts that secure the engine, sprocket, and the bucket. Make sure you know those are opposite. Otherwise, you're going to ruin some shit. Yeah. And this is an early engine. This is an early engine. Yeah. I'm just kind of blown away. Hopefully I get this thing resolved and put the trans back in. You know, I've had a number of knuckleheads and flatheads, little 45s, all kinds of motorcycles, and Indians, Scouts, Chiefs, 4s. But this knucklehead transmission and that R12 have given me more difficulties than any machines I've ever worked on. Clutches are not my strong piece, and neither are electrical. But that JB weld really held up. It looked like it held up good, but that's really not the way you do a transmission. You go with an oversized stud, or you do the welding properly and drill it, thread it, and then put the correct studs back in. But the one fellow I talked to said we should go with oversized stud. So, but I'm really surprised. I really thought I'd pull that transmission out and just watch that thing bleed all over the place. But that was not the case. There was still enough oil in there it should have been bleeding. But I still think that the studs are the problem. Yeah. If you put any torque on it, they would just, the studs themselves would bust loose out of the bottom of the trans. So, but anyway, I don't know if anybody's done any 36 transmission YouTubes that would help anybody. You know, if you're gonna, I think I saw this thing on the Facebook. There's some shop in Germany that makes a knockoff 36 engine, trans, everything. I was really impressed. Looked really super nice. Yeah. So, truthfully, gang, if you're building one of these bikes today in 2024, sadly, you need a ton of money. You need to be able to just access $100,000 because the frames are 15 grand. Transmission is, someone had one on eBay for 10 grand. The engine could be 30 grand. I don't sell anything. I have no interest in selling my motorcycles, so please don't bother me. I'm just doing this to help people out. If it helps you out, that's fantastic. It kind of bums me out when I go look stuff up on the internet and I can't find shit, but there it is. Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. I think there's going to be some sort of issue with this side on the inside. I think there's going to be some sort of issue on that, and who knows what else. But, if you have one of these old bikes, Harley, Indian, BMW, whatever, don't sell them. Go sell something else. This stuff it's all gone, and it's fun. It's a blast. So, yeah. God, flip something else. Don't flip old motorcycles. Flip anything else, modern motorcycle, something boring, something nobody gives a shit about. This stuff is just, it's bitchin' cool and it's bitchin' fun. And, a fellow once told me that these Woodruff keys that were made like in the 40s, 30s was a much better metal, and that the modern Woodruff keys were just, they're kind of like Doritos. They would just blow apart. And I kind of believe that. I think he was very right. I was really lucky when when I started putting together motorcycles, and I'm not an expert by any means. I was really lucky that I came across some really expert people that knew their old bikes, they knew how to put things together, and yeah, it's a bummer today. Where I live, there's nobody I would take a motorcycle to. We're not working on a space shuttle. It doesn't take 6 weeks to do shit. But for some people, I guess that's what they say. That's what they think. It takes 6 weeks to do anything, if that. So, but anyway, that push rod. See, I marked it in black there. It's hard to see, but that's as much movement as I got out of it. And God, maybe, I hate to say it, but maybe my clutch pack disc orientation may have been really flawed. Maybe it was that, but God, it makes sense to me. Metal on fiber on metal, but maybe I had too many discs in there. I don't know, but it just would not clutch. It would not clutch at any orientation. So, but there it is. It's out. We'll get it done right, stick it back in, start all over again. Oh, a while ago I had to take the transmission out of this fucking BMW wagon. Oh my God, what a nightmare. Yeah, it's the first and last modern BMW I will ever own. Yeah. So, all right, gang. 16 minutes. I'm doing a lot of dog videos. I'm trying to save dog lives. I don't save people's lives, but I'll certainly help a dog out. I love dogs. I love cats. Love animals. Love motorcycles. So, all right, gang. We'll catch you on the next YouTube. It's probably going to be a while before this transmission comes and goes. I gotta spend a day boxing this up. I'm going to use one of these like aircraft crates, and it makes me nervous shipping stuff like this because I can't replace this. I saw one on eBay for 10 grand. I'm not paying 10 grand for a transmission, but I guess I'll have to over-insure the thing, and signature required. You can't trust anybody. That's just how it is. All right, gang. See you on next YouTube.